the prefrontal cortex doesn't come online until 25. We can expect entertainment value from people under 25, but we can't expect life wisdom, political wisdom. And so just because someone listens to you for entertainment value, that doesn't mean that you have life wisdom, cultural wisdom, political wisdom, religious wisdom. Nick and Ken, chose niches that are underserved. So there's a great thirst for alt-right commentary that is not provided by the mainstream. And so you can very quickly build up an audience if you talk about these alt-right topics, because there are so few people of substance talking about them. So you get an audience far in proportion to what your talents would otherwise deliver for you. And then out of that disproportionate audience, it's very easy to get the sense that your insights are far more valuable than they are. I mean, we used to call people, who were autistic, didn't we used to call them mentally retarded? And now we just say not neurotypical or differently abled. And so there's autistic and schizophrenic, right? These are opposite sides of the spectrum. So the autistic don't really read other people and what's going on with other people. They're not in touch with their own emotions. They're not in touch with the emotions of other people. They have no sense of the inner life of other people. They have very little sense of their own inner life. They're just kind of emotionally barren, right? Which seems to characterize much of Ken Brown's work. And then on the other side, there are the people who are schizophrenic, who read way too much into what's going on in the lives of people around them and the motivation. So the schizophrenic and the paranoid, right? They believe that the whole world's conspiring against them. They overanalyze. They believe all sorts of things that aren't there, while the autist is just completely blind to all sorts of things that are there. So those are two of the most prominent mental illnesses. They are opposite, right? So you want to have a moderate amount of understanding of other people and being able to tune into them, right? There's no shared reality and there's no shared energy unless you can get onto the same page with other people. And younger people tend to be self-absorbed. They don't tend to have a great deal of empathy. But you'll notice by about age 25 to 30, people stop deliberately shaming and humiliating other people publicly, right? That almost never happens at the hands of people over age 30, because as people age, they grow in empathy. So I noticed that when I was going through my health problems, nobody in the second half of life was cruel to me. But very few people my own age displayed much empathy. Instead, they shied away because they couldn't understand what was happening to me. Therefore, it had to be some great mental illness on my part, or I had something contagious. They just shied away, while people in the second half of life just were overwhelmingly compassionate and empathic, because people in the second half of life, they've had enough suffering that their understanding of life has expanded. While people prior to age 20, they tend to have understanding about their own experience, and they haven't devoted a great deal of attention to the lives of others, and they haven't concerned themselves a great deal with other people's priorities. They haven't internalized that other people are just as real as they are, that other people have just as many hopes and dreams and feel things just as keenly as they do. But when the prefrontal cortex comes online by about age 25, then you can start to have more empathy for other people. And empathy is a really good place to begin a worldview. So that's why I don't trust the life wisdom, religious wisdom, political wisdom, or cultural wisdom of people under 25, because they're simply not cognitively capable of sufficient amounts of empathy. And if you begin from a place of empathy, you're in a place of reality, right? You're recognizing your obligations to others. You're recognizing the times that you've screwed up and that you've hurt innocent people. You recognize how your selfishness has wreaked harm on those around you. And from that perspective, you're in reality. While with often, the Nick Fuentes or the Ken Brown, they're on a crusade because they are oblivious to the extent that their selfishness has harmed the lives of people around them. That doesn't even occur to them. It doesn't occur to them that there might be something that they are missing, that there's some place that they've gone wrong.